Hi, this is Glenda. I'm playing with foil paper at the moment and I've been doing lots of experimenting, and I thought before I go any further I'll do the introduction to my video before I turn my samples into something where they're no longer useful to you. I first discovered the foil with this foil heat transfer hot stamping pen, and that was in 2004 and it cost me $20. And it's been sitting in the drawer ever since. It wasn't as friendly as I would have liked. It's battery, and you press the button and you wait about 15 or 20 seconds and then you can write with it or draw with it or trace a stencil or whatever. It's awkward to hold, but you just go over your foil and it will transfer the foil to your paper. And as excited as I was when I got it, it really didn't hold its interest for me. So the next thing I found was this sort of foil paper from Jones Tones, and you're supposed to use the matching glue. Once again, I think I had a little play and then left it in the drawer, and then just recently I've been inspired to have another go. As far as I can tell, you don't need to use their special glue. You can use a white glue. What you have to do is stamp with it or make your pattern or whatever, and then let the glue dry and go tacky between 1 and 8 hours. So anybody who listens to me frequently will know that my patience doesn't last that long. You can speed it up with the heat gun. Whether you'd get better results just waiting, I don't know, because my results have been very, very mixed. I'll just mention this too. I got that on clearance around the block foil transfer kit. Same idea, it's little sheets of foil. And then it had stickers that you apply the foil with. It's basically a sheer double-sided piece of sticky. I'm still working up to playing with that again because they were hearts and pets, neither of which inspired me, which is why they were on clearance. And then just this last weekend somebody gave me this roll of the foil, and what it is, it's been used, it's come from a printer, and it looks like it's done chocolate labels or something like that, but you still have a lot of usable gold there, especially if you're doing lines or anything. So that was quite a treat. So that's sort of part of the inspiration to have another go with foiling. So some of the things I've been trying, I chose a really intricate big background stamp just to see what I could do with it. This is how it came up with using the sticky and the white, this stuff. And I think I used the heat gun. As I said, I don't wait very well. You can't tell what the pattern is, but it gives a really interesting background anyway, and I'll certainly use that. Then this was done with Stampin' Bond. Now, any of these sticky embossing powder things, I assume, are very similar. So once again, I got an interesting effect. You can't tell what the pattern is, but it's quite usable for something. And then, just as a matter of comparison, I did gold embossing ink, and you can see it's quite a different gold. It's a different look altogether to embossing. It is much more like you might get from a printer. Some of the imperfections here are because it was using that roll that had been used before. You can even see bits of the pattern in it. But I'm just experimenting. This one I tried, this is using the Stampin' Bond. This is using the glue but then forgetting to wait to let it dry at all. This is hurrying it up with a heat gun. Now, how much of this is because I put it on this background that I'd already done? I mean, I think this one I can probably use maybe that depending what I do with it, but not this. So you certainly have to remember to let your glue go a bit tacky. This worked brilliantly. That's simply double-sided tape, adhesive tape, as we used to stick things down, and that worked really well. I was very happy with that. This was the Stampin' Bond again. There are little imperfections. It doesn't seem to be that precise, but saying that, here I've stamped with a sentiment, and it's quite clear. And I'm holding this upside down, and I had every intention of flipping this video. I'll turn it round, see what happens. Yeah, so I was really pleased with how that came out. And then this was a silver sticker, and I put it on double-sided adhesive, and then I put my foil over it, and I don't think I'd do it again because there are imperfections, and I think I'd probably get a better result with glitter or something, but it just gave an interesting result, so I'll turn that into something. Then I saw some people using their laser printer and a laminator. So I printed the butterfly on the laser printer, put my sheet of the used gold, and as you can see there's quite a lot of the background came up as well, but it stuck really well to the laser. You put it through the laminator with another piece of paper over it to protect the laminator. And they had fancy ones they could set the temperature. Mine's a Super El Cheapo one, but still that's quite exciting as a new thing to use. And then I did it again with another sheet that hadn't been used before, and there is some blue around here, but it's just really subtle, and I really quite like that, so that was quite good too. So I will play with this a bit more and do the next bit of this video. Okay, let's have a look at how we apply this foil paper. These, first I'll just mention, these are the main ways that I've found that you buy it, and these little rolls, I picked up a couple of these on clearance the other day for $2, but they are only 6 by 12 inches, so they're not a huge thing despite the packaging. And the other one was in these little tiny sheets, which are 4 3/4 by 3 3/4. You get 12 in a packet. I don't know what I paid. I know it was all relatively expensive and makes me use it fairly sparingly. However, I've hardly made a dent in my collection of foils, so I really should just use it up. I've got to get past this hoarding, so I will use an anti-static cloth. I'm going to try this with embossing ink. And Stampin' Bond powder. And with this, you only heat it till it's just beginning to turn. Don't overheat it or it'll lose its sticky. Oops. Just going to put foil on the sticky. Give it a rub with your fingers. heat it again to finish off the Stampin' Bond powder, but that worked quite well. Okay, the next way that worked well was some double-sided adhesive. Peel it off, ignore the dirt on it. Burnish that on with your fingers again, and that to me is one of the best results. This is the stamp I used before. Okay, ink the stamp with glue. Stamp it down. Dry it off till it's tacky. Foil down, burnish it in, hopefully, oh this one's a bit subtle, it has foiled it but it's given it a very delicate effect. This is not the results I was getting earlier. Okay, so the other way again is with these stickers. Okay. So I've transferred my sticker on, and once again put my foil over the top, burnish it down, not too keen on that. Yeah, he's a bit blobby. And I have no idea where you would get the stickers. I've never seen stickers quite like it. Where they went? They're very clear and double-sided sticky, basically. So that's the basics of how you actually do your foiling. And I'll show you the cards that I have finished. There I've used that first attempt with a feather, and I've added 2 hologram ones also with the Stampin' Bond. Hopefully they'll show up on the camera if I can get the light right. There's my one that I did with the laser printer, and I will put a link to one of the, was a number of tutorials that basically just showed how to run a laser print through the laminator. So that was that one, and oh, I do have another one. I was letting it dry because of the stickles. That was the other laser print for the butterfly, and the Stampin', no, it was the glue for the background. And there's the one that had the adhesive tape and more Stampin' Bond. and lastly the sentiment done in it. So that's the and I've got glue on it. I think I really need to stop now. I think I've about to foil myself. So anyway, if you've got this stuff sitting in your drawer not using it, get it out and give it a go. They're quite effective, and probably if I wasn't going at it quite so hard, just to do the odd strip and that would be very effective without having to get out a whole lot of mess like I seem to have managed today. So if you've persevered with this really disjointed tutorial, thank you very much, and I'll move on.